that it's so relatable to younger audiences. Like kids can watch it and say, "Oh, they're fighting for the good of humanity, and they look so cute, and they love makeup, and these girls are fun and cute, and also super powerful." But then, as an adult, when I'm watching it and re-recording things that I watched as a kid, I'm realizing there's a lot of like metaphorical things that went right over my head as a kid, and I'm watching it going, this is such a deeper meaning, and the things that the villains are saying, and that the girls are saying, you can apply to life and living a better existence and helping people. And I think that's really cool that it can just really serve a whole generation and generations of fans. It's not just a kids show, and I think that's fantastic, and it's very rare, I think.
Aside from being just like instantly charming, like when I was kind of going back and looking over it, it's so charming. I mean, it's the first thing that comes to mind. You watch it and you're like transfixed with it. But I think it's these sort of regular everyday people that something comes along and it like unlocks something special in them, and all of their best qualities, are in a very magical way are sort of shown, and everybody has their own role that they fill, and I think that's what a cool message to give to not just young girls and fans, but everybody.
I think that there's something like, I don't want to use the word simple, but by being so like pure and simple, you almost like kind of shine a light on how different our real world is. I think that like there's certain things that like desires and hopes that we like have inside, but we can't like voice because it's like not PC or it's not. But there's something like so pure about this show. It's like the weight loss episode or the episode where all the girls are crazy wanting to get married. Like you can't like it in. So, I mean, I don't. I'm sure now all feminists will want to throw stones at me, but somewhere inside, like women have kind of been like, there's certain things that like ingrained, like have been like planted in us, and we do have like some of these like really simple and almost child or pure type desires and dreams that we're not really allowed to express in modern day society. And the fact that like this show kind of just like embraces it and just like totally expresses it to like the nth degree, it's refreshing and shocking and hilarious.
It's just so deep. I'm taking it all in. I'm kind of mesmerized by your, yeah, or there you go. Well, that, and it's funny. It's funny. That's kind of what I noticed. Of course, today was the first time I saw, right? Didn't we all? That's the first time we all saw like a complete episode. And there is kind of a really simple, pure, kind of cute thing about it, but it's also like, it's funny.
I watched it as a kid, and I've been rewatching some of the dubbed episodes from before, and I don't remember it being that funny. So I wonder if part of it was because they were kind of hiding some stuff from us, and they were kind of like aiming it more towards children, whereas like today, just like the deliveries of some of the lines just cracked me up. Like even if it's just like, yeah, like I don't know, I love what they're doing with it. It just brought the comedy back, but also, or when we were in the autograph line, I was hearing people like talking to each of us as like, you're my favorite scout because I was always this as a kid, or I would like, and I realized like I think because when you have a cast of like 5 different characters, you can show every different type of thing. So there was like one girl who was like, I was a tomboy and I wanted to play soccer, but I also wanted to bake cakes, and like, and then somebody was saying to you, they're like, I was always really shy and introverted, so I loved Sailor Mercury. And I think so. I guess we see the archetypes, and it's so relatable. And also, I love the journey that Usagi takes, where it's like she starts out being like the most inept leader ever, and by the end of the series, like it's kind of a maturing. It's that we're those, we've all gone through that of being like kids becoming adults and maturing into who we're supposed to be.
I think every girl secretly wants to find out one day she's a princess. I was totally thinking that
Right?
when Stephanie was talking.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody, that's why everybody like goes to Disney, and I think it's the same thing. Everybody has their iconic princess of like who they feel like they connect with. I think getting to see how everyone responded to the episode, like the first dub, and hearing everybody scream and laugh and get so pumped up while they were watching it was really, really cool, because it's exciting when they announce the cast and everyone's so enthusiastic, but for me, it doesn't. It's like, well, I'm glad they're excited, but they haven't seen it yet, so it doesn't feel real until I watch them enjoy the work. Um, and so to see how enthusiastic they were, I was like, this is super cool. This is really, really amazing. And then getting to see all of the little kids that are like 6 and 7 that are dressed up, or they're like, I'm just finding out about this show. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. They have no awareness of this, and we're going to be their first experience of Sailor Moon. That's like crazy, monumental, and exciting.
So when I was a little thing, human, obviously, my oldest sister knew I loved Sailor Moon, so she saved up all her money to buy me a Sailor Moon Easter basket. She saved all her money. She paid like $30, which is a fortune when you're 10.
Yeah.
So I invited her, but I didn't tell her what she was gonna see, and she was telling me after when I saw her, she's like, we're not going to a Sailor Moon thing. Why? We're gonna go see Christina talk or something. Why are there all these Sailor Moon people here? And so she gets in and she's like, this is a Sailor Moon thing? Well, Christina's probably gonna speak or something. And then she said, even when I was walking out with Nessa Mars, she was like, why is Sailor Mars my sister? What is she doing? She just didn't want to believe it. But she's very happy and very excited for me, and yeah, and that's probably, it's one of those moments I know I'm gonna have forever, to see her reaction and I don't know, I feel like it's like, hey, you gave me that basket and now let me share this experience with you.
Last year's AX was my first con I ever attended. And my buddy was like, I have free tickets to this thing. And I'm like, oh, I really like anime. I'll go to that. And I was on the VO grind at that time. Like, I was just auditioning and just grinding. And I kind of like lost sense of what I was doing. And I walked into this thing, and just the mass of people that are so passionate about the genre and the art form, I really mean it. It like re-inspired me, and it like got me back in touch with like why I really do this, which is for the audience, and that's my favorite part of it, to see all those people. So then a year later to be back here, to be any kind of part of it, and also part of such a awesome, seasoned, wonderful cast, it was like, that was a trip. To be a face in the crowd, and then the next year to be facing the crowd, couldn't ask for anything better. Yeah.
I see what you did there. You're a poet. Geez, I think my two favorite things was watching the full episode dubbed for the first time and seeing that, like, oh wow, yeah, it's really funny, and hearing everybody else, and then also having so many people come up to us and say that they really liked what we did, because to be honest, I was terrified. There's so much pressure. While working on it, I just try not to think about all that stuff and what it means. But I was really, really nervous. It's like this property means so much to so many people. Like, you don't want to let them down. So I was very happy that people really enjoyed it.
I would say watching it as well, because oddly enough, that's the first time I've ever watched a whole episode of something that we worked on. However, I wasn't even in that today. But, like, because I don't watch any TV. So I haven't watched a full episode of anything. So I would say that was fascinating. And they loved it. And I won't ever forget how much they loved it.
The whole thing's just been really incredible. Like, it didn't really hit home that this is real until, like, you walk out on that stage and they're saying your name and they're, like, clapping for you. I'm like, they're clapping for that. They don't know who I am. They're like, and it was something really cool. Like, this is real, and they're happy, and we're all happy. We're all excited. Like, I don't know. In my head, I was just like, they're gonna hate everything I do. They're gonna hate everything because they just hate me. I'm an actor. Yeah, I was just like that whole, like, everybody's gonna hate me. And it's just the fact that there was so much love. Like, in the room, we were all just so excited. And then in the autograph session, everybody was so excited to, like, that was so cool to me. Or, like, people who were saying they were identifying with things that I, like, to me it was like a throwaway thing. I'm just like, oh, this is this and that and that. And then they were like, they were saying, when you said that in the panel, I started crying because it reminded me of this. And I'm like, it's cool to think that things that you say can help other people. moment, like, you know, you talking about you being an awkward tomboy, like, they're like choked up, they're like, I thought I was the only one who wanted to play baseball and make cakes, and I'm not, so thank you. And so it's just, I love that about the show.
It was also really cool getting to see the original cast and having them sit with us, and then after they left, and I was like, this is like a weird like passing of the torch moment, and it's so cool because I was so nervous to talk to them because I'm sure they have people come up to them all the time and say like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing to meet you, and like then to be saying like, okay, I'm going to be playing the character that you played. They all, like, when they left, said, enjoy the show. We had such a blast with it, and we know you will too, and we're so proud of you guys. Enjoy every moment, have fun. And it was like, this is the coolest thing ever that they are so willing to support us, and they were there, and it was like, I was like getting choked up. The voice actor who played Artemis came up and he was like, okay, my little Venus, I'm so excited. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. It was so, so cool that they were there and they were excited and they were supporting us. And that's, oh, look at that. Look at, such a lovely man.
I think that if anything, for the fans that I want them to like take away, like the spirit of the show, is to just do your best in all your spreading of love and goodness and following your dreams. And I know it sounds cheesy, but there is this, you can call it a cheesy element to the show, but it's not like cheese. It's like, it's just that like, it's like not having to say I'm sorry for embracing like your true passion and your desires. And if other people think that's cheesy, whatever, who cares, you know? And so I think that that would be like the message, and also just thank you.
You know what amazes me about the fans and the people that come to these things is just how dedicated they are. It's truly amazing to me. So it's kind of like what you're saying about keep being who you are. Like just keep embracing who you are, and bloom where you are planted.
This whole journey has made me realize that like sometimes like you kind of have limits on like what you think is possible. You're like, oh well, it'll just be, my life will just be this, and these are some cool things that'll happen, and like life will like surprise you all the time. Like I grew up watching this and playing this in my backyard. I never would have thought I would be dubbing the same show I watched as a kid, being the same character I played as a kid. So it's just like, you know, like your dreams really can come true, and they could be dreams that that are way beyond, like bigger than the dreams you thought. Like I don't know, bigger than your biggest dreams. There are still dreams that are even bigger, and they can come true. And also be patient, because like I was, you know, I've been out here like 4 years, which is not long. Like a lot of people have been out here a lot longer, but a lot of my friends, I've seen them like right off the bat getting big things here and there. I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'm never really gonna get anything, and then just working hard and just paying your due diligence, and don't get a big head, don't make it about you, don't get an ego, just keep doing your work, and things will happen when they're supposed to.
I'm all about trusting your gut and your intuition about people and where you think you should be. And I've learned that when I don't trust my gut or my intuition, if I go against it, that it's gotten me into some pretty rocky places. So that's my hope is for you to learn how to trust yourself above all else.
I think for me, it's you just have to go forward no matter what. I think going forward, and everybody's saying be true to yourself and all that, and it's but you have to just do it. Just do it. Is that like a motto? I'm the worst at this. Hold on.
Never said that.
I'm so glad you didn't let me finish. It's gotta be her. Women always like a well-dressed man. That's the message.
Sharp-dressed man. Okay. I started in this business when I was 6, and so it's been very interesting when you go to an audition and you're playing all these different characters to try to get a job. Oftentimes, you start questioning who your authentic self is, and are they gonna like me as this character? You just want people to like you, and so now as an adult, when I'm going to auditions, I'm like, well, this is my job, and I can't let every audition that I go out on beat me up. And so as I was watching the show today, it was reminding me of a couple of things that I'm working on to always be positive, and there's always something great that happens in your life every single day if you're willing to see it, if you're willing to look for it. It might be that you found a penny or you made someone smile, but there's something positive that everybody can bring every day. So as I'm watching the episode, I'm like, these girls know exactly who they are. They're their authentic selves, and they don't try to be anything else. And that core of who they are makes them a superhero. So like everyone's saying, be yourself, but it's true. Be your authentic self and be okay with the fact that, you can't make sentences, which I can't half the time. Because that's who you are and that's what your superpower is, and people identify with that, and that's what makes you human. And if everybody recognized that we're all in this as one, we're all working towards the same goal, then I think everybody would be a whole lot nicer to each other. And I think that that's something, at least that's what I learned from today's episode of Sailor Moon.